Alex Pereira is going to win the UFC light heavyweight belt against Magomed Ankalaev at UFC 320. In the pantheon of modern mixed martial arts, few figures evoke the mystique and raw intensity of Alex "Poatan" Pereira, a former two-division champion. Pereira is more than a fighter. He is a symbol of primal power, spiritual resilience, and cultural pride. As he prepares to face Magomed Ankalaev in a rematch for the UFC light heavyweight title at UFC 320, the stakes are not merely athletic, they are mythic. This is not just a contest of fists and strategy. It is the resurrection of the Chama days, a term that has come to represent a golden era of Brazilian dominance, swagger, and spiritual warfare inside the octagon. Pereira's first encounter with Ankalaev at UFC 313 was a sobering moment. Despite defending all 12 takedown attempts, Pereira lost by unanimous decision in a fight that was more cerebral than explosive. The Brazilian striker, known for his devastating left hook and stoic demeanor, appeared physically compromised. Rumors swirled about a broken hand and a bout with norovirus, and Pereira later admitted he was operating at just 40% capacity. Yet even in defeat, he showed flashes of brilliance, moments where the old Poatan threatened to emerge. This rematch, scheduled for October 4th at UFC 320 in Las Vegas, is Pereira's chance to rewrite the narrative. It is not merely about reclaiming gold. It is about restoring a legacy interrupted by circumstance. Ankalaev, the Dagestani Sambo specialist, is a formidable champion, technical, composed, and relentless. But Pereira is built different. He is not just fighting for a belt. He is fighting for an idea. His stoicism is legendary. Pereira rarely smiles, rarely speaks out of turn. He is a man of few words and many actions. In the UFC Performance Institute confrontation with Ankalaev, Pereira calmly told his opponent, "I respect you, but on October 4th, I will hit you. I will slap your face." It was not trash talk, it was ritual declaration. Pereira embodies this ethos. His walkouts, often accompanied by indigenous war drums and stoic silence, are spiritual ceremonies. He does not enter the octagon. He ascends into it. The Chama days were not just about winning, they were about winning with style, with identity, with fire. And Pereira, more than any other active Brazilian fighter, is reigniting that flame. Magomed Ankalaev is the antithesis of Pereira. Where Poatan is mystical, Ankalaev is methodical, a master of combat sambo. Ankalaev fights like a chess player, calculating, patient, and precise. His record speaks to his consistency. He is not flashy, but he is effective. In their first bout, Ankalaev neutralized Pereira's striking by controlling distance and tempo. He did not dominate with takedowns or ground and pound. He dominated with discipline. But discipline alone may not be enough in the rematch. Pereira, now fully healthy and spiritually charged, presents a different kind of threat. One that cannot be measured in metrics alone. Pereira's striking is his superpower. With a background in glory kickboxing, he possesses elite-level timing, power, and variety. His left hook is a weapon of myth, capable of ending fights in seconds. Ankalaev, while competent on the feet, lacks the dynamism to match Pereira in a pure striking battle. Ankalaev's grappling is his safety net. His ability to control opponents on the ground and nullify their offense is textbook. Dagestani. Pereira's takedown defense, however, has improved dramatically. In their first fight, he stuffed all attempts. If he can repeat that feat, the fight stays in his domain. Ankalaev thrives in slow, grinding fights. Pereira, by contrast, is a sprinter, explosive but sometimes prone to fatigue. The key for Poatan will be managing his energy and avoiding prolonged clinch exchanges. If he can keep the fight at range and dictate pace, the odds tilt in his favor. The confrontation at the UFC Performance Institute was more than awkward, it was revealing. Pereira's calm provocation and Ankalaev's visible irritation suggest a psychological edge. Fighters often say the fight begins long before the cage door closes. And in this case, Pereira may already be winning that battle. His declaration, "I will slap your face," was not bravado. It was a promise. And promises from Poatan carry weight. For Pereira, this fight is legacy-defining. A win would make him a two-time light heavyweight champion and solidify his place among the greats. It would also restore Brazilian pride in a division, long dominated by Eastern European wrestlers and American tacticians. For Ankalaev, it is validation. A second win over Pereira would silence doubters and establish him as a true champion, not just a placeholder. It would also reinforce the Dagestani blueprint: discipline over dynamism, control over chaos. As UFC 320 approaches, the MMA world holds its breath. Will Pereira reclaim his throne and reignite the Chama days? Will Ankalaev prove that discipline trumps destiny? One thing is certain: this fight will be etched in the annals of combat history. Pereira is built different, not just in muscle and bone, but in spirit. He carries the flame of a culture, the weight of a legacy, and the fury of a warrior who refuses to be forgotten. On October 4th, the Octagon becomes a temple, and Poatan returns not just to fight, but to burn.